Though April showers may come your way, they bring the flowers that bloom in May. So when it's raining, have no regrets, because it isn't raining rain, you know. It's raining violets. Oh, hi, kids. I'm telling you, the reason I'm happy is because I'm making something that you will really love. These are carnations, the pink flowers there. Those are carnations, and that's what we're gonna make, only we're gonna make them out of paper. These are pink carnations, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit how they color the carnations. When they grow, generally speaking, they're white. But what they do is they take the carnation and they stick the stem, they cut them off, and they stick the stem in colored water with food coloring. And the stem is where the water goes up to keep the flower alive. And so when the water goes up and it's now red or blue or yellow, it goes up and it turns the white carnation to another color. So these carnations are pink carnations. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a vase for the carnations. Mrs. Weech is gonna come around, she's gonna put a big lines of tape on your desk, and she's just gonna keep coming around and keeping you stocked up. Your job is to cover the jar with tape. You can see that I have taped this entire jar. All my pieces are different sizes. I didn't have to be careful about how I tore it off, but the first thing that's very important that you start with is to put it around the lid, the top of the jar. So now that's what I'm doing. I'm just putting it around the top of the jar. When we get finished, this jar, and remember, it doesn't matter if there are tear marks, you do try to keep it smooth, but you have to keep, so I'm going all around the top of the jar, all the way around. Now I'm not gonna go all around and make you sit here and watch me do it. Then I'm gonna show you. See, now it's around that much of the top. Now I'm gonna just keep tearing off until I can cover up the jar all the way with tape, just like that. Just keep covering it up, all different size pieces. And I don't want to make a lot of things the same. I'm just making all kinds of different sizes and shapes. I just rip them off like that. That's all I do. See? And I keep smoothing it out. I don't want a lot of, and you don't want any pieces. See that sticking out? That's disgusting. We don't want that. So we have to keep everything down tight. Okay? So I'm just doing this little bit so you can see how to do it, what I'm doing. You see? And Mrs. Weech will keep coming around and keeping you stocked up with tape. See how I keep smoothing it out? Okay, once you've got it taped, now I'm going to show you what you're going to do with it. Now see, that was a big piece of tape there. So some of it's okay, but I'm gonna try to cover some of it up. I don't want it to look like it's been wrapped with tape. I want it to look like this, so it looks like it's made out of stones. Made out of different stones put together. So we get the tape all on it. Once it's taped, now we're gonna go to the next step. After you've got it all taped, then Mrs. Weech is gonna give you some paint and paint brushes, and you're gonna paint it. And you're not gonna paint the whole thing at the same time. You're gonna paint just a little bit of it at a time, and she's gonna give you some paper towels. So now that I've painted what I did, normally the whole jar would be covered with tape. But see, I don't wanna make you sit there and watch while I cover it. Now, once you've painted part of it, then you take your paper towel and you wipe it off. When you wipe it off, the brown paint will go into the spaces and make it look like that. All the places where the tape made a joint. Now see, I've wiped it off. See there? Now, right now, when it's only a part of a job, you can't really tell that much. But there you have it. You see? See what it's going to do? So what are you going to do? You're going to paint. Are you going to paint the whole jar at once? No. Never, never, never paint the whole jar at once. Because otherwise, you know what would happen? If I had painted the whole jar and then I tried to wipe it off, my hand would be in the other part that was already painted, and I would have a brown hand. So you have to only paint part of the jar at one time. See, because now I can touch this and it won't get on my hands. So I would say paint just like about that far, only that far. And that way it gives you plenty of place to hold on to it, and you can wipe it all off and then paint that far again. And then it won't matter now if your fingers get in this because it's already been wiped off. Now see, if you get it all over yourself, tell your mother, don't come down here and yell at me because I have told you now how to do it. So if you get it all over yourself, then you have to take the blame because I showed you how to. And if your mom comes down to yell at me, I'll tell her. Listen, I showed them how. I have it on video. You can look and see. So just don't get it on yourself, and that'll avoid a lot of trouble. Now, Mrs. Weech is going to take one look at this, and she's going to go to me. I don't know if they can do this. And I'm going to say to her, look, you said that they can do hard things, and this is a hard thing, and I know that they can do it. So, because I have a lot of really hard projects, so if you can do this, you can do anything. Okay, that's that. When you're finished with your brush, you rinse it out real good so that she will have the brushes to be able to use on another project because it's important. Wash the brush out. All right, now we're going to go to the thing that's going to go in the jar. What's going to go in the jar? These pretty flowers. See how that looks like the carnation that we just showed you? Isn't that so cool? Well, you're going to make flowers because this is April. April showers bring May flowers. Okay, what you're going to get is I have cut out some different colors. Everybody in the classroom is going to get a white one. And then you get to choose your other color. Hopefully you can all find the colors that I've chosen, but I've picked purple and pink. Those are the colors I chose. You're each going to get, to start with, a stack of white paper like this. This white paper is, there's 4 pieces in it. So the first thing you're going to have to, and it's annoying because it wants to move around, but the first thing you're going to do is you're going to line it up so they're all right together. Then you're going to fold, and it's called an accordion fold because it's a special fold. I see they're all together. I've got them all together, and you don't want to make it you don't want to make a big fold like this. You want to just make a little fold, about the size, a little bit wider, well, about the size, I don't know how big your fingers are because I'm not there, but I would say about a finger and a half width. So a finger and a half of a finger. So you make your first fold like that and crease it good. Okay? Now you turn it over like this and fold again right even with where your first fold was. See that? Then you turn it over and fold where they are again. See what I'm doing? Fold, 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 fold. And each time you see me pressing down on it, now I turn it. Just remember, turn it over. Because if you don't turn it over, it won't work. It's called an accordion fold. Okay? Turn it over and fold, right? See how my folds are all pretty much right together there? Now I'm going to turn it again. Turn it. You've got to remember, fold and turn, fold and turn, fold and turn, fold and turn. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you know who's taking these pictures, but I'm going to tell you who it is. It's Mrs. Bloomfield. Mrs. Bloomfield is the person who made those books that you have where you can sing. Mrs. Weech gives you a book every once in a while to sing from. Mrs. Bloomfield is the one that did that. And you know what? If it wasn't for the stupid, worthless COVID, she would be coming down there once a week and you would be singing with her and she would be teaching you songs and it would be so much fun. But, of course, just like me, they won't let us in. But I wanted you to know. And Mrs. Bloomfield's the one that sang the song the other day for April Showers, because guess what? I couldn't sing very well anymore. Sometimes I'll show you why what happens to your vocal cords when you get old and then you can't sing like you did when you were young. So sing all you can while you're young, because then when you get old, sometimes you can't sing. Now, you see, I'm getting to the end of it. Now, once I get to the end of it here, I'm going to do something that you can do, okay? And even though I didn't come out even, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Okay, I'm just going to fold that last part in because none of this matters. Now, you hold it in your hand. You can do one of two things. On the one that looks like a carnation, I sliced in, slice, like that. And it made these little things like that. You see that? But you don't have to do that. If you just want to cut the corners off like that, you can do that. See? You can cut the corner off and you'll get one that looks like this. So if you want one that looks like this, you have to go nip, 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 nip. If you want one that looks like this, you cut the corners off. So I'm going to do this end, both ends differently, so you can see. So on this end, I'm going to nip, 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 nip. So I'm doing this so you can see how I nip it. On this one, I'm going to cut the corners off like this. Cut, cut. Okay? See that? Now, I have to find the middle. And how do I find the middle? I fold it in half. See that? And then I'll crease it a little bit so I remember where middle is. Okay, now I've got it creased. Do you see it? See the fold right there? Then I take this wire and stop. Now we look at it. One side here has a free piece of, see it? See that? That side is going to be up. So you're going to take your wire and just bring just enough around it to go around the middle like that, see? With the short piece and the long piece going down away from this. And then you twist it. This is hard, but just twist it like that. And that, I twist it a little bit to try to make it tight on here in the middle. Okay? Make it tight as you can. I didn't get it. Just keep twisting it like that till it's tight. So it's clamping on tightly, okay? Now, because I'm gonna have Mrs. Bloomfield, who's taking these pictures, she's gonna show you how to tear it, open it up.
Okay, so now you have it like this. You're gonna kind of pull this open a little like that so you can work. And you're gonna just take that first top piece, the very top piece, see that top piece? And I'm just gonna pull that towards the center and just pull. And you have to kind of pull hard, but you have to be careful that you don't rip it. But you wanna pull it up nice and hard.
See how her
that?
other hand is holding it, holding the rest of it while
And
she pulls that up?
Yeah, and I'm not worrying about what that looks like yet either. Now I'm going to pull the second sheet, find that second piece, and pull that up. Just keep pulling it up. See how I'm separating them like that? Okay, now I'm going to go back and I'm going to get the next piece. I think there should be four or five sheets.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm pulling that up. See how it's starting to make it look like a flower? And this last piece, you're just gonna take your hand like this and go and pull that up next to it. Okay, and then you can separate this down, pull this all down to look like your pretty flower. See that?
But then do the other side.
Okay, now we have to do the other side. We come over here and we got to separate it a little, just open it up a little so we can work with it. Okay, find that top piece, that very top piece, and then just pull it out. And now you're going to get to see the difference between the two cuts that Mrs. Everest showed you. Okay, I think that's that. Go back and get the next one. Right there. Oops. Sometimes they're hard to grab, but you just do your best. You can do hard things. I can do hard things. And you just pull that. And see, I'm trying to pull and separate. There's that up. Like that. Bring it up because that's part of the flower. And there you have, and you can see we didn't quite get it centered, and so this one's a little longer than this. So when you get it perfectly centered, then you won't have that as much. But there's your two different flower kinds. Here's the ones with the chop, chop, chop. And this is where you just cut off the two edges.